Hello guys, and welcome to this demo about the Doubles Matchmaking Program. And before we get started with the demo, I just wanted to give you a short background regarding why I created this program. So basically the reason is that we are a small group of people who have started playing badminton quite regularly recently, of course for fun, but still we quickly realized that we wanted to have an organized match schedule where you have unique matches, and if for example you have a player that needs to rest in between the matches, every player gets an equal opportunity to play and to rest between the matches. So let's take a very simple example to understand what the problem is. So if we are 5 persons that want to play doubles and we only have one court available, so which means that only 4 people can play at a time and one person will need to rest. And in order to make the matches unique and also allow every single person equal opportunity to play and to rest, you need to actually kind of sit down with pen and paper and create a schedule. Of course, it's quite possible with pen and paper when the number of players is quite small, as for example with 5 players. But when the number of players starts to increase, for example, 9 players, 10, 12, 16, then this exercise with pen and paper becomes quite cumbersome. So I wanted to have some kind of a program that created the match schedule with one click of a button. So this is basically the result, this doubles matchmaking program in Excel. And this program is based on Excel VBA. So when you click on a button, the Excel runs a VBA code in the background to calculate the unique matches and present them to you down here. So let's just start with actually the introduction of the interface for the user. And before we jump to that, actually, I just wanted to mention that when you open this program for the first time, you will get some security warnings. Right now, I'm just seeing one security warning here. You might see more. It might be about running macros. So in order to use this program, you will need to enable macros or enable macros to run. And also you will get this kind of warning, security warning that I have here. So this one also you will need to enable in order to continue or in order to use this program. Okay, so that was the background and some kind of introduction to what kind of issues you might get when you start the program for the first time. So let's look at the interface. So this is basically, it's very basic interface of this program. Nothing fancy. And up here actually you have the inputs. So this is where the user needs to input the numbers that the program will use to calculate the matches. Here you can see actually an example of 10 players that I put here. And then I've said that okay, we will be playing 10 matches per court, and then there are actually 2 courts. So in this particular example, you see that there will be 2 players that will need to rest, since there are only 8 people can play at a time. So once you have given the inputs, you will just click on create matches, and then the program will output in this format. So let me just very quickly go through what each of the columns mean here. So match series is basically the number of matches played per time. So in case of 10 players, you will, as I said, you have 2 courts, so only 2 matches will be played at a time. So you can see here that's match number 1 and match number 2 belong to match series 1. So in each series, you'll be playing 2 matches. So this is the introduction of these 2 columns. And then you have team 1. So this is which players will be playing in team 1. And this is basically number. So player number 7 and player number 9 make up team 1. and player number 8 and player number 10 make up team 2, and so team 1 will be playing a match against team 2, and for the second match, or in the second court, there will be player number 3 and player number 4 that will be playing against player number 5 and player number 6. And as I said before, since we input 10 players, then there will be 2 players that will need to rest during this match series. And as you can see, the program also outputs which of the players will need to rest in the first match series. So here we can see that for the first match series, there will be player 1 and 2. And you can see it repeats 2 times because, as I said, because there are two courts, or for each court it shows which of the players will not be playing. So it's basically related to match series, you can say, the resting players. Okay, so let's talk about the simple example which I mentioned during the beginning of the demo. So in that example, we were going to have 5 players, and we were going to have, we can have something like 5 matches, and of course there's only 1 court, so this will give us in total 5 matches when we click on Create Matches button. And also the program actually shows some kind of a status at the bottom here, which I will talk about a little bit later. So let's wait until the program is done. So here are the results. So here we have the 5 matches, and we have the 5 resting players. So as you can see, each player gets an equal opportunity to play and to rest. Of course, this with the 5 players, you can do this by hand. You can find all the unique matches by hand, but it will take a little bit. Some few minutes. I think something around 10 to 15 minutes, especially if you are doing it the first time. But as you can see, when I click this Create Matches button, it will do it within a second. And actually, it comes to 5 players, you can only find 15 unique matches. And that you can find out actually by doing this on pen and paper. But the program does it in, as you could see, in less than a second. Okay, so let's look at another example. So I may explain to you what the messages this program shows in the status bar. And the example that we'll take is going to be 9 players. And we'll have 15 matches per court. And of course, there are 2 courts, so there will be 1 player that will need to rest between the matches. And one thing I forgot to mention previously is that the total number of matches that you will get is actually 15 times 2, or the number of matches per court times the number of courts. And in this case, it will be 30. Now let's just go ahead and press on the Create Matches button. And this is the main message that you will encounter. Of course, in the beginning, the program also shows a message about when it's creating teams, and also when it creates matches, or all matches. And now it's showing actually the, it's iterating to find matches that fulfill some requirements. And these requirements are that the 2 players should not play with each other more than the number specified here. So this is what is called as max team allowed occurrence. And there's another requirement, and that is that the 2 players in the presented matches should not have played against each other more than this number specified here. And then these are the iterations for each of these allowed occurrences. So when this reaches a certain number, I think I've specified it made it to 50,000, then it means that the program was not able to find the unique matches that fulfill these requirements. So then it increases this occurrence allowance. So then it increased from 1 to 2. And it does the same thing for the other iteration, which is the versus iteration. And once it reaches a certain number, it will increase because it was not able to find the matches that meet those requirements. Yeah, so let's speed up the video to see the end message once this program has found valid matches that meets the requirements. As you can see from the status bar message, the task is complete and the program has found matches that meets the requirements. And the requirements are that 2 players should not play in the same team more than 3 times. And this is indicated by this message: 564 unique team iterations with repeating max occurrence of 3. And the other requirement is that the 2 players should not have played against each other more than 4 times, and this is indicated by the message: 1724 unique versus iterations with repeating max occurrence of 4, and it was completed in 203 seconds, the whole process. So these are all the matches that the program found, and as we mentioned before, we were looking for 30 matches, since 15 times 2 is 30. And the program also shows here which are the resting players, and as you can see, after 9 match series the number restarts, since all of the players have got the chance to rest. So I hope you really found the demo useful, and after this you realized that this really is the program that you are looking for. And if you are, then you can buy and download it. I will leave a link in the description below. So thanks for listening. Bye bye.